I'm Rose, as in Treasures by Rose, and this is part of our segment playlist, Crochet and Chat. So today, and ignore my ears, we're gonna just take them off. That's okay. We don't need them. We're all right. All right. We're going to be talking about my start into crochet. Yes. And while talking about how I got my start into crochet, we're going to work on part of another segment, Rose Reviews. We will see who I'm reviewing. We'll see what's going on here. But I'm making a no-hair shrub. So let's jump right in. And so, how I got my start. Oh, well, it started Christmas, not last year, but the year before. And what actually happened first was me knitting. Okay, let's back it up a little further. So, gifts were due. Well, they were coming due. And I love handmade gifts. A lot of years I would like paint things, maybe sculpt something, things like that. But I wanted to mix things up, and I started by knitting my mom a scarf, which totally sucked. She actually had to help me fix it. We're not going to talk about it too much, but anyways, she told me that crocheting was easier than knitting. I'm like, no way. That stuff looks confusing. And proceeded to knit the crappy scarf. But she loved it. She's my mom. Anyway, I decided to give it a try and crochet a beanie for my aunt. And it was challenging. It was so. It was really not great at first. It kept getting lopsided and I kept decreasing. Eventually figured it out and managed to get it to actually be straight how it was supposed to be. And yeah, from there, I after trying it 5 times, probably maybe 6, I got it the way it was supposed to be. And I'm like, okay, this was not so bad. So I wanted to try it some more and crocheted another gift for a different aunt, a shawl. And that one ended up getting named in my online store the Peggy shawl after my aunt because I created that for her. And I think it turned out pretty, and I might put the picture of it up somewhere. We'll see. You'll see. But after that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm digging it. I want to make a shawl for myself. So I made another shawl for myself. I wanted something a little bit more holy so that it could work well when it's just slightly cold or when it's pretty cold. And I used it all the time. And that one is also in my store. So let's fast forward a little bit after Christmas when all that is done. And my babies are still only like 4 months old. And I am constantly nursing my twins. Like constantly. Yeah. And I like doing stuff and wanted something to do with my hands. And what better than my new obsession, crochet? So I started crocheting like all the time. And that's just what I was always doing, especially when I just had a baby on me, nursing and falling asleep. And I just didn't feel like moving and getting them off me. It works. I started playing around with a lot of designs I would make on my own. And my mom was really surprised with how quickly I started being able to do that. A lot of times, though, when I wanted to make something, I would look up like, how do you do this? How do you make sleeves and connect sleeves to crocheted sweaters. So I had to understand the foundations. But then once I understood the foundations, I would come up with all kinds of stuff. Like this here, I had no real description for. But once you understand the construction, it's not too bad. And I think my mom, who was just used to using patterns for everything, started to catch on and make her own. So I inspired her to become a designer too, which I loved that, just loved it. And anyways, it wasn't as smooth into designing as it may sound. Oh my god. My first sweater, I tried to go like bottom up and add the holes for the sleeves. Going in the round, kind of like how knitting in the round would work, but not as good. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, this should be simple, and basically kind of like made vest with the holes in there. But it did not work. It was horrible. But that was also the first sweater I attempted. And funness, I was trying to make a crochet version of the famous Larika Matoshi cherry sweater that is super cute, and I might still make my own crocheted version of it now that I can actually make a sweater. Maybe I will do it because I wanted it, but I don't knit like that, and like it doesn't work like that. But I might go ahead and make that because I think it's cute. I might make it different though, but like similar concept. It wouldn't be something I'm like selling on my store. It would just be something I make for me to have. But anyways, where was I? That was horrible, and probably gonna be like the first thing when I make a frog or finish video that I tackle, because it's been sitting in my closet for over a year now, just sitting there. And I got mad and I just threw it in and said, forget it. Although it was also with the Lily Sugar and Cream yarn, which wouldn't be super comfortable anyways to wear. So if I frog it, I would probably make something totally different out of that yarn, like maybe towels or something. Or a tapestry, maybe. We'll see. We'll tackle it then. So if I ended up trying to make that sweater again, just to have like a bright blue cherry sweater, like what Larika Matoshi made, I would probably end up using a completely different cotton yarn, but cotton is probably what I would do. I love cotton. Even for some winter stuff, I love cotton, but it would probably be something I would have for the springtime. Moving on. Tackling a completely different sweater. And this time I did my research. I looked up YouTube videos. Hey, the tube. YouTube videos on how piece by piece you construct and put a sweater together. And this is when the designer in me actually became born. I actually understood it. It was like light bulb went off in my head. So what did I make? Crop top version of Coraline's star sweater. Yes, but also crocheted, because I'm pretty sure the other mother knitted it. Yes, and I love it. I still wear it often. You've probably seen it in other videos if you've been around here before. And I'll probably put pictures up of these two, because why not show you? Except for the one that is sitting in my closet and doing nothing. That one, sleeve a little bit off. It is a little bit off on one side. This was the first successful sweater I would say that I tackled. And it was still a success because it's wearable. You can hardly notice that the sleeves are off. It just looks like a pretty cozy sweater for the most part. And I do actually wear it. which is more than what can be said about quite a few projects I got, but I do try to make an effort to wear them. Um, and if I don't wear them, I try to think about what I need to do differently to make it something I want to wear down the road when I make more. Because I hate feeling like I wasted the effort into making something and just not wear it. I hate that feeling. But at the same time, a lot of it is just learning how to make things like this, and then also learning my own style when it comes to wearing handmade stuff. Because it's almost like a style in its own, and you have to pair it with your personal style, if that makes sense. Like, you can make something that's cute, but is it still actually your style? And that's something that I had to realize along the way, is that there's lots of cute things that I can make, but that doesn't mean it's something I will actually reach for. And so that's where I came to really consider, before I put in the time and effort to make something, is this something that I would actually reach for if it was a purchased object? Would I actually wear it? That made a huge difference in what I made from then on. So from then on, I made sure that I would pick like colors and styles that I would actually like to wear. And yeah, there the designer in me was born. However, I still make objects or garments that I might not wear, and that's a whole different thing when it came to starting my online store and making stuff that other people would like to wear too, because I know not everyone has my style. So I try to have a little bit of something for everyone in there, although it is definitely still geared towards a particular audience, I guess you could say, when it comes to the styles in it. And that's something I'm also working on, because I have some awesome models that are going to start making appearances on my store, and they are going to help showcase other styles as well that I can create for customers. Now, continuing on my crochet journey. The baby's getting a little bit older, nursing a little less often, actually made me feel more free to make other things. And also when it came to other people, I started playing around with proportions, different sizes, not just making things to fit myself. And for example, my husband, and making a sweater for him. Oh my gosh, the first time did not go over well. I don't know what went wrong, but that was also the biggest freaking sweater I've ever made. And it's just because he's tall, and up to that point, I'd only really been making sweaters for myself. And most of the time when I make sweaters, I make them cropped, and that's just because it's how I like my sweaters. It's my style. However, I was thinking of making a bigger chunky sweater probably next winter though, because it's mid-January for me now. However, this probably comes out in February. And I am starting to think more about spring and summer styles going forward, because that's what we're going into. And I like to start making stuff for the season coming up or in the middle of it. So maybe in like fall, I'll start making winter stuff. And so that's where I might make like a big old chunky sweater that would be lots of fun. So my husband's sweater, he is a tall dude compared to me, and somewhere in there I just kind of lost what I was going for, because he wanted a tapestry crochet style, which I can do, and I definitely have done tapestry crochet. I don't mind it one bit. It's fine, but it's more like proportioning it to just fit him better, which is just like slightly different for dudes, I guess. But anyways, didn't go well, so redo. And now I'm actually working on a completely different sweater for him. And I think I have it right now to fit his body good. I have more experience. I played around with it. I got it. And that's going to be done here shortly. And I'll actually post pictures in my Instagram of it because I'm excited. I'm excited. And I'm actually making a matching sweater for myself, but mine will be crop top and take less than half the time his does, which is fine. But anyways, that was a big part of my journey because it really taught me a lot about making projects for other people, to their measurements and whatnot. So it was a big milestone for me. And then we're moving on to custom orders. Now we've launched our site and we are taking orders, and it went well. I mean, we had some orders coming in, even had my work featured on a popular YouTube channel. Yes, I was so excited about that. And then now working on 3 sweaters. Oh my goodness. And so happy about that. One is a moth cardigan that I'm also going to make a video dedicated to my process. And that's a special custom order that is not going to be featured on my online store. The others are custom versions of my rose cardigan. And that will actually be done here pretty soon and sent off. But that was also while I was working with Etsy, and I'm technically still working with Etsy. I have not taken my stuff down off of there, but I have ended up launching my own website, and that's something I discussed in a previous video. But that is also part of the crochet journey. I'd say a big thing was deciding to make this hobby a career. And that's where the passion did not die, no matter how much I did it. And that is part of what told me that this is something I feel good about making a career, because the passion does not die. And sometimes I go through moments where I just don't feel like doing it. I'd rather play video games. And that's okay. I have to respect that and give myself breaks. And sometimes I get hand pain, which is pretty common amongst crocheters who don't give themselves proper breaks. And so I have to respect my body and mind when it comes to anything that I do a lot of. That includes crochet. And when I still enjoy it after doing it nonstop and even dealing with hand pain, and I don't want to be like, I just want to put my hook down and never mess with this again, I know that I found something I really, really love doing. And I think that making it a career was a great choice in both aspects, like not just the online store, but also in this YouTube channel. It's something I thoroughly enjoy and I can talk about forever. But let's move on to some other projects I have done. And yes, I found a kind of weirdly naughty part. We're gonna work on it. But I say baby clothes. Oh my gosh. That was some of like the first orders I got were baby clothes too. So there was the baby booties, and there was the dress with the matching headband and a little bag, and oh my gosh, so cute. I need to make that for my babies too. But those were super fun. And those were some relatives who actually ordered that custom from me. Words, Rose. Words. Um, the booties came first and then came the dress. And that was really fun. I really tested some limits and found some things that just can't be done by me. And that's okay. I think understanding your limits is part of the journey. But I definitely had a good time with making and designing these. And I started making a lot of stuff for my babies. From dresses, while it was still warm out, to sweaters. I took some great photos to continue my maternity photos. And I will go ahead and show them off for you guys. Because why not? I wore a black dress to kind of have like moon goddess vibes, and a white dress for like Mother Earth during my maternity photo shoot. And after having the babies, I kind of wanted it to transition to kind of continuing the pregnancy journey that is the motherhood journey. And so the black dresses that had like purple on it, that was to continue it. And the white dress that I wore, I just ordered dresses for that looked good. Where I could have possibly have made white dresses for it. However, I was also running out of time because it was a specific person that was going to be able to take the pictures for me. So I was working against the clock, and that's something that happens quite a bit. But one of my favorite things I made them was to go along with a family photo in fall with my mama, and she made her own matching top to go with mine and my baby's tops that I made. So that was awesome. And I love that. I would totally do it again. But that was just also a big part of the journey and the fun of it. And they're just like the perfect little models when I make baby clothes, which I do need to make more of. But I was gonna make them matching. I made one pink and black shrug similar to this mohair one that I'm making. So I need to make the other one. But I think that is the biggest chunk of my crochet journey. Going into a little bit of what I still want to do and have not been able to do. I would say dress for myself. And I think it's also mainly the time that will take to do it, which is about the amount of time it's taken to make my husband's sweater, because it's a dress on me, which I will probably post a picture of me wearing it as a dress, being swallowed in it. But that tells me about how long it would probably take me to make a dress for myself, about that length on me. Which is okay. I definitely don't mind the things that take time, like my cardigans took time. It's just a matter of when. But since we're going into summer, I'll let you know there's a couple of dresses I'm planning on doing for myself. One shorter to actually match my baby's black dresses, and one longer, which is going to have a whole vlog dedicated to it. And it's going to take time to make. Like, it will take time because I want it to be about floor length on me. And that's going to be a flaming dress. Yeah. And I already know who I'm going to for the yarn for it. I'll tell you guys more about it in that video that is dedicated to it. But thank you guys for joining me. It's been fun having you here. and kind of just talking a bit about my crochet journey, start, and where I am now with my YouTube channel dedicated to it and my online store, Treasures by Rose, that is also dedicated to it. And I've pretty much made something for almost every member of my family at this point. But that's kind of just what you do. And I've been enjoying it. And I can't wait to see where it takes me next. But thank you again for joining me. If you had a good time, please like the video. Maybe consider subscribing and being part of my crochet family. I love you guys and see you next time.